So you hear what I have to say, and now let's see what Adam Al-Khayal, Browns director of players, talk about the offensive fit with Coach Monken. So let's listen to what he had to say for all these players that were picked on the offensive side.
With this offense, what we're so used to here the last 5 years, obviously it's a very zone-heavy offensive scheme. How do we see him fit in with what we want to do now with George Warhop and obviously Todd Monken?
Yeah, I think what's really important, if you talk to those coaches, like running off the ball, they want guys who can run off the ball, and Parker can roll. And so
fastest 10-yard split.
He's physical, he can run, he's got range, and Coach has been in Baltimore with undersized centers before, and so to me it's still a clean schematic.
There you go. And now let's talk about the patience the Browns had, because the Browns have patience to be able to draft the guys that they wanted, right? So let's hear how that worked in the draft process during the draft, right? Here it is.
Through that second round and how that played out, because I'm an out-of-patient guy. I would not be allowed. Andrew Berry said he likes a sterile cockpit. I would be thrown out of there for my emotion, because I was like, let's just trade all these fifth-round picks and go get him right now, get them both, and we'll see on down the road. And you guys ended up doing it in a much more judicious manner.
I mean, I talked about it in the press, just like exuding extreme patience, because it is hard, right? You see guys sitting on the board, you have them in certain spots, and you're like, they're not going to get to us. And you can very much talk yourself into this player not making it there. But one, the focus was just how do we sequence it? Like you have multiple players in a range where you take them at 39. It's okay, what's the best way to sequence picking them off versus just like, I like this one over this one. Sometimes they're on the same level, but it's like, okay, relative to everyone else at their position who's been taken or not been taken, how do we sequence it such that we give ourselves the best shot to get them? So that's the exercise we do all the time, and I think all teams are trying to do that exercise. And we kind of got it. We figured it out this time.
You got it right.
It never works perfectly, but
that's pretty close.
Yeah, we felt good about, okay, let's take Boston, get him in the boat, get two really young, talented pass catchers for Todd to work with. And then, we immediately went to work on the phones trying to figure out what was the right spot to get up in the second round, and as E-Man continued to sort of just come to us, and we had a couple offers, and felt like the spot we got to was the best one given what they're asking for. So yeah, patience is man, it's a teacher in these moments. It's a teacher to relax and trust the board, trust the process. We talked about the exercises we do. We put so much work into it, so it's fun to let it play.
And now listen to the media reaction on the Browns draft, and this is the final set of videos I'm going to be playing here, because we've been here for 2 hours, guys, 2 hours. So let's hear this first one right here.
The NFL draft is now complete, and here are the 5 biggest winners from the draft. Honorable mention, the Dallas Cowboys had a great first round, landing Caleb Downs and Malachi Lawrence to help rebuild that defense. And with the 5th team, defensive rebuild is the theme. The Kansas City Chiefs absolutely crushed their first 3 picks, adding Mansour Delane, R. Mason Thomas, and Peter Woods to help rebuild a defense that lost a ton of talent. They did a really good job refilling that unit with their draft class. At number 4, the Washington Commanders. They had a great free agency and went and built it on that in the draft, adding a freak athlete in Sonny Styles, Antonio Williams to fill in the slot, Joshua Josephs off the edge, a really good guy there. At number 3, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They landed Ruben Bain in the middle of the first, who desperately needed a pass rusher, added Josiah Trotter at a linebacker to help fill the void needed there as well. And then they got Keontae Scott to go fill in the secondary. I really like what the Bucs did, and they drafted great, finding a lot of value with teams and players slipping. The next team, the Las Vegas Raiders, it's hard to miss with Fernando Mendoza, but you add that into the grade with the franchise quarterback. They landed Jermod McCoy in the 4th. Mike Washington's added in there as well. And don't forget about Trayden Stukes in the second. They rebuilt their secondary. They added a lot of free agents. Don't be surprised that the AFC West has 4 really competitive teams this year. Make sure you follow for more NFL content. And then at number 1, yes, the Cleveland Browns finally absolutely crushed a draft, and they did it 2 straight years. They added 2 different wide receivers in Denzel Boston, KC Concepcion, who Boston fell and they landed him right in their laps, and then Spencer Fano in the first trading back, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren as well as in that group, and then 2 offensive linemen after those guys that absolutely solidify a Cleveland Browns roster that is a quarterback potentially away from being a really good football team.
Now, as you can hear this, we're coming. The Browns are coming. So let's listen to Max Loeb to see what he has to say about the Browns draft.
The Cleveland Browns just stole the NFL draft. Some of the players they got and the spots they got them at are utterly ridiculous. Remember this, the Browns traded the 6th overall pick for the 9th overall pick where they took Spencer Fano, a guy who they may have just taken at 6, and the 74th overall pick. Remember that 74 number. It's a good pick. They start the run on tackles, and then you think, okay, the Browns desperately need a wide receiver. Denzel Boston's on the board at 24. Maybe they take him. They pass on him for KC Concepcion, who other teams were actually trying to trade up and get, and they add a really dynamic playmaker to the offense. Okay, you don't get Denzel Boston, whatever. Guess what doesn't matter when you're on the clock at 39? Denzel Boston's still there for you. You get your dominant out wide 6'4" X wide receiver, and you have KC Concepcion in the middle in an offense with Jerry Jeudy, Quinshon Judkins, Harold Fannin Jr., and whoever winds up starting at quarterback with a vastly improved offensive line that again now adds Spencer Fano. But we're not done here. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, one of the best safeties in the draft, really was mocked in the top 25, but for some reason continued to fall. Maybe it was Toledo. Who knows? The Browns at 70 trade up to get him at 60, but remember, they still have pick 74 because of the Spencer Fano trade. And in typical Andrew Berry fashion, he trades back a little bit to get multiple 4th-round picks, one this year and one next year in the process. That he actually wound up packaging to move up and get another tackle with Austin Barber. If you enjoy NFL analysis like that, make sure you follow for more. But now the Browns are adding a competent offense, at least a good offensive line with some weapons, assuming there's some average quarterback play on the other side of a defense with the best player in the world, the reigning defensive rookie of the year, one of the best corners in the game, and now a secondary that's dynamic. This team could win some serious games.
And it's going to be legendary, believe it or not. It's going to be legendary. So let's listen to some more reactions here, okay? Underdog here.
The Browns have been killing this draft class. A+, 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 according to my grades here. Denzel Boston, KC Concepcion, Jerry Jeudy, how does it all fit? So we know Jerry Jeudy dance around. You guys get that whole story. I think KC Concepcion has the chance to be one of the best wide receivers in this draft class. He's my wide receiver too. Excellent releases, and he also can win down the football field. He's a yak machine, returns kicks. The athleticism just pops off the screen. He's going to be the number 1, I think, by the end of this rookie season. Denzel Boston, probably not going to get nearly as many targets as these other guys. He's a catch point guy, win in the red zone. He can block better than these other 2. And then you have Harold Fannin choice routes over the middle. Not a terrible foundation for whoever's going to be the quarterback, whether that's Deshaun, Shedeur, or whoever it's going to be in 2027.
There you go. And let's get more reactions here to the Browns draft. Here's PFF with the grades on the Browns.
The Cleveland Browns earned an A+ for their stellar 2026 draft. In the first round, they drafted Spencer Fano and KC Concepcion, 2 players who will help improve an inconsistent Browns offense. In round 2, they got 2 steals in Denzel Boston and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. McNeil-Warren is a big, explosive safety with a knack for creating turnovers, and Cleveland fans will love him. 4 instant impact players in the first 2 rounds and some additional depth in the late rounds is exactly how you earn an A+ draft.
So A+ by PFF. And let's see here. NFL Network most improved teams. There it is.
Here, your most improved teams over the last couple of days. We got a touchscreen. We're going to work together on this. A little bit of chemistry.
It won't be perhaps. They're going to get there, but not yet. We're going to start with number 5. Mike, roll up a little bit. Let's get to a team whose name starts with an E. Let's go up. No, not them. Not
E.
Right there. Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, get
My fifth number 5 team, Philadelphia Eagles. Go right here. They get the wide receiver, Mekhi Lemon. That adds to a room that could lose A.J. Brown. They could be more explosive. Eli Stowers, the tight end out of Vandy, that flex mobile tight end. Then they go ahead and they get an offensive tackle and Markel Bell to start developing someone to replace Lane Johnson, possibly. And he goes, let's not forget the Jonathan Grenard thing. Mike, number 4.
Hold on, Markel Bell is 6'9". Do you know what that means? Jordan Mailata at 6'8". Finally gonna have somebody he can look up to there.
Right, he is not the tallest guy.
He is a mountain. All right, I think I know who this one is.
Number 4. Okay, let's go to a team that starts with a T. Keep on scrolling. Keep on scrolling. You're getting there.
We're going by team name, not by city.
Right. Boom, the Houston Texans. Gotcha. What, the Houston Texans? They didn't seem to make a big splash. Yes, they absolutely did. They got the guard, Keelan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech. 2-time first-team All-ACC. He's probably going to start at center. But this was the play that got them to 4. Caden McDonald, the massive defensive tackle out of Ohio State to keep those great linebackers clean. They needed this. And then they get the tight end Marlon Klein, more of a receiving tight end out of Michigan. Do not sleep on one of the best teams in the AFC. Mike, number 3.
Yeah, I got smart. I pre-scrolled.
There you go. The New York Giants, baby. The New York Giants. Arvell Reese, come on. This is a guy, the chess piece, the queen piece, that's going to help out this defense. Those guys up front, we know they bolstered there. They get Cece Mawanoa. The right tackle is going to move to right guard, an absolute monster. But then they come back and get Colton Hood, the cornerback, who's absolutely going to come in right away and start. And then they get Malachi Fields, a wide receiver out of Notre Dame. This is the team that really has improved itself. But oh, wait. They're guys in the same state, Mike. Come on. Let's go right there. The
Didn't
Jets
even have to
right
move.
There. Get him right there. You got to hit it, so I got to hit it.
They made the list. There you go.
Jets right there. We had that great clip of Aaron Glenn, but you look at everything that the Jets did. They get David Bailey on the edge. He's going to come in and contribute right away. Kenyon Sadiq, a tight end, another move player. He's going to go in there with Mason Taylor, Garrett Wilson. They've got Geno Smith, some options right there. Omar Cooper, another wide receiver, great run and catch guy. Offense getting more explosive. And then D'Angelo Ponge, the DB, again, compared to Aaron Glenn. But number 1 on this list. I mean,
well, I had to leave a little drama, so there's going to be a scroll.
Little drama. Come down a little bit, just a little bit.
A lot of C's.
Every year they win the draft. And guess what? Again, the Cleveland Browns. Number 1, the most improved team. Now, let's remember, the floor was kind of low, so they had to build it up. But they get the offensive line, Spencer Fano, out of the gate. Then they come back with a wide receiver, Casey Concepcion. Now they got speed. They needed it desperately. Oh, but then they get another wide receiver, a big wide receiver, Denzel Boston out of Washington. Now Shedeur, Deshaun Watson, whoever's the quarterback, they have targets. Get the safety, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo, a big hitter to come in and solidify. It's already a pretty good defense. And then another tackle on Austin Barber. They filled needs. They got good players. The players fell to them. So Cleveland Browns, these are my 5 most improved teams right here.
There you go. You hear the 5 most improved teams. And let's listen to what do they have to say here, right? UCSS, right? My Nuggets, what do you have to say?
All this speculation, all these projections, we don't know, and it doesn't really matter until these guys take the field. But if you're going off the paper, if you're going off the projections, if you're going off the level of talent that everyone believes these prospects particularly have, I have a hard time believing that any general manager or any team in the NFL has had a more successful draft thus far than the Cleveland Browns. Me, Mikey McNuggets, Mike Lucas, am a notorious non-AB guy. I thought AB was just as culprit and just as part of the issue as Kevin Stefanski was. I wanted them both gone. But I got to put my hand up and say, hey, that 2025 draft class was incredible. And on paper, this 2026 draft class looks just as good, if not better, considering the positions that the Browns took swings on in premium needs for this team. Starting with Spencer Fano.
You hear this? You hear this? And finally, let's hear from the man, Andrew Berry, the man who made all this happen with his team. The man that everybody wanted him to leave Cleveland. Now nobody wants to leave, right? So let's listen to him.
We're excited about today, not just with the players that we added, the 3 guys that we added, but Also, how we were able to add to our resource base in 27, and then how we're positioned for tomorrow afternoon, with several other day 3 picks. So obviously a lot of action, a lot of movement, throughout the evening tonight, but we're pleased with where we ended up. I'm most surprised with E-Man. We figured that Denzel could go anywhere from late 1 to early 2, just to be truthful. But E-Man, he wasn't someone that we anticipated being there as late as he was. So when he got within striking distance, we felt the move was appropriate. To be truthful, he was in play for us at 39.
So you hear he was in play for 39 for the Browns. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been your draft coverage. Please let me know your opinions on what grade you will give the Browns in this year's NFL draft, from an A+ to an F-. And I'll be reading your comments and maybe post them on the next video. So it will be till next time. So peace.